Good morning, guys. Morning, Zeems. Morning, Antonio, Zypher. How are we all doing? Welcome. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Just get a few things sorted out, but all good now. How's it, Nick? Hi, Stanley. How are we all doing? Just gonna give it 2 minutes, guys, and we will do our full breakdowns on GJ and what else we got here? GJ and gold. Yeah, really good. Thanks, Seems. How are you doing? Not feeling so tired today, so yeah, had a good night's sleep. Feeling chilled. How are you? Hope everyone from Discord yesterday managed to catch those gold buys. Amazing gold buys yesterday, especially based on the 4-hour time frame. We did chat about it. As soon as price broke above here, we had basically our 4-hour candle close above resistance. This was our stop loss level because obviously we needed to see that wick down, retest of this zone basically, and then break of the previous 4-hour candle high while respecting this the previous 4-hour candle low as well. And then we obviously had the clean candle to the left. Market structure was bullish. We had all the confidences that we could have wished for, really. Obviously on the lower time frames it was a little bit of an impulse entry, but we were basing it off of, well, I was basing mine off of the 4-hour, so it wasn't really impulse based on the 4-hour. Ready to get some nice trades? Very ready to get some nice trades. Ron, how you doing? Are you still in? No, I took the closed partials. My first place where I closed partials I think was about 20 pips, and then my run it might still be in. Yeah, checking GG at the moment, guys. This is obviously going to be a very risky sell. It's going to be counter trend. We're going to be looking for sells below 156 3 to 8. I don't know if I'm going to be entertaining those, but yeah, let's see how this candle closes. Are you still in plate? No, I'm not in plate. I'm back home. Got back yesterday. Ronan, are you arriving today or tomorrow in Cape Town? If you're still coming. Yeah, I looked at WhatsApp, Renan. I will check. I'll answer it after the stream. Okay, let's do a quick breakdown. Let's also actually look at some of the charts from Telegram, because we had a lot of charts coming through on Telegram this morning. All very similar, to be honest. So we had Stanley's first, which is buys above this 1828 level on gold, which is perfect. Obviously you're a bit more aggressive marking, that's fine. Sells below 1824, exactly what I'm looking at as well. We got some clean range either way, and then further continuation sells possibly below 1821, and then we can see ourselves coming up to about, I would say, 1832. Yeah, that's also a really nice marked out level, so definitely happy about that. Really nice chart, Stanley. Obviously you can mention in here the market structure, although it is quite clear and obvious that we are very bullish in market structure just because of yesterday's pushes. But yeah, very nice chart. You also, Zeems put in here a GJ chart, also very similar to what I'm looking at. You obviously have this area which we might be able to catch some sells into. It is going to be pretty risky sells, so do obviously be a little bit aware that it is going to be counter trend. If we're going to be looking at buys, I'm not really interested in any buys above the current level that we at the current resistance, or anywhere within this sort of range that we are currently in. You can see we are ranging on the 4-hour. Now we're finally breaking below this level for our support. We do need to keep in mind that we are sitting on level for our support. So even if we do get this candle close, there's a good chance that we can reject at this level because we are sitting on a 4-hour level of support, and we know just how strong those are. So if we can start forming some support on the next 4-hour candle, then we can start maybe seeing some retests of this sort of level at the 156-600s, and then possibly seeing some bullish continuation. Ronan says, yeah, he's not coming to Cape Town anymore. Okay. Very quick change of plans. Okay, let's carry on looking at some charts. We do have some more charts coming through here. Again, very similar ideas on GJ. I think we all have the same ideas. Risky sells below the current level that we're at. Safe buys above 156, about 800, around that sort of level. So let's just wait and see how the candles play out. I would be very, very skeptical about these current sells, guys, because yeah, looking at the higher time frames, you obviously are on a level of 4-hour support, and to sell on a level of 4-hour support is very, very risky and not likely. It's also counter trend, so I don't think I will be entertaining these sells even if we do get the candle close. But again, based on clean candles to the left on the lower time frames, it does make sense. But if we're going to be taking into consideration the higher time frames, which is definitely something that I like to look at, especially when it comes to support and resistance levels, I want to see the clean candles on those time frames as well, not just the lower time frames. So yeah, very nice chart here, Balas. Then you seems you got your gold chart in. I think we all have the same charts, to be honest, guys. Very, very nice marking. Yeah, perfect. If you guys are trading any other pairs, let me just see this. Also pound yen. What I'd be very careful with here, obviously, Stan, is you've marked out the current resistance level, but if we break above that resistance level, you can see we have another level of resistance right there. So if I point that out over here, if you have this marked in like you did, let's just mark it in red as our resistance, and then we go look left to see if we have the clean range to trade into. You are going to be then, if you're considering buys above this level, you then have a resistance which is only about 8.5 pips away. So that's your previous resistance level above our marked out resistance level. And what that indicates to us is that that's a good chance that we're going to reject at that level. So is it going to be worth trading into these 8 pips of range? Probably not. So that's not really a trading range. I would say it's going to be much safer to look for buys above 156,800. If that, I hope that that does make sense. So that's why I'm saying these current resistance levels over here aren't really that important to mark out. Rather look left and see, okay, if we break above a resistance, where are we going to have clean range to trade into? And you can see if we break above this resistance level, we obviously have all these clean candles to take into. I am worried about that wick as well, but we're expecting that during a time of high volume, we can just push straight through that. So just remember that as well. US oil, lately prices have been up and down in my country. Don't trade a lot of oil, but someone was actually talking about it yesterday as well in the chat. But yeah, very interesting. So at the moment it looks like we aren't going to get that candle close below this 156.328 level, but again, I would not have been taking those sells just based on the fact that we are sitting on a 4-hour level of support. Definitely something to take into consideration. If you guys do trade any other pairs and aren't just trading gold and GJ, mark those out as well and send them through. I'll definitely be able to help with some analysis on that. It is nice though to see that you guys are hopefully sticking to just the 2 pairs. It doesn't have to be the 2 pairs that I trade. I mean, if you find GU more comfortable than GJ, happily trade GU, and if you find something else more comfortable than gold, happily trade that as well. Very, very sorry, very chill to trade whatever pair you want to trade, just as long as you aren't trading 10 pairs, 12 pairs, even 4 pairs is a lot to trade. Try to stick to 1 or 2 pairs. It's good. You're going to notice a huge difference because you're going to start understanding exactly how those pairs that you choose move. So we all know gold loves to consolidate and impulse, and then on the odd occasion you'll get that really nice candle close on the lower time frames and you'll get that very easy move. Otherwise, a lot of the time it just makes these large moves, consolidates, large moves, consolidates. So yeah, very nice charts in the Telegram. Thank you guys for those. Could be a very slow London open as well. I'm just thinking that if we do form support on this level of support, taking a very aggressive buy might be a option. So I will be looking possibly doing that. We can just also look at what we were talking about. Those guys who were in the Discord call yesterday, you guys know that we're looking at these gold buys above this 1824 level. We obviously got a really nice candle close on the 4 hour. I think our zone was marked out like this. You can see we obviously got that really nice 4 hour candle close. Then this 4 hour candle, this is, we talked about it in depth yesterday. We want to see a wick down into our marked out zones. So by this candle wicking down into our marked out zones, what it's going to be doing on the lower time frames, such as the 15 and the 30, is forming some support. And by getting that support form and rejecting these previous levels of resistance at your break and retest, and then we could further move up. If you had actually missed this original move, there was more opportunities to get in some buys to retest this high. You can see we came back down to a level of resistance, form some support, so that's your break and retest, and then retest the high that we had created. So that was your second opportunity. Obviously, if you had taken the initial gold buys, there was no need to then try and catch that move as well, just in case it didn't work out, and there's no point in risking those sorts of profits either. So yeah, very smooth, clean buys. I think there was minimal drawdown, which was great. Looks like we're getting a fake out on the 15-minute. Making buys definitely look like a possibility here. I think I will be looking for some very aggressive buys. Obviously, if they don't work out, they don't work out. I'm just going to have to manage risk. We do have some range to trade into. We've also rejected a previous support level. So I will be looking at some GJ buys, I think. Just want to wait for a clean wick down. I suppose that's not bad. Stop loss placed under this candle low over here. I'll actually look at might place it on the previous 5-minute candle low. See, because this is basically a fake out on the 15-minute, guys. We also have the clean candles to the left. So we just need to be careful that we are currently rejecting a 4-hour level of support as well. We came down to that. So hopefully we can now flip this 4-hour candle bullish, and then that'll be nice, really early buys. My entry was just above this candle high. Stop loss is currently at that point. Actually a bit lower, to be honest with you. Not a very high risk trade at all. Very super tight stop loss, guys. About 3 pips. Got the clean range to the left. So if price does end up coming back down to my entry, we've obviously moved up quite a lot now. So we'll probably end up closing half, and then I'll let the rest hit my stop loss if it does come down to that point. Like I said, it's a very low risk trade, and just based on 15-minute fake out. We are tapping into the support, however, and rejecting that. So that's also important to remember. was just kind of hoping volume would push us through. Welcome back, Bodrix. Just getting ready to close half if we do come back to entry. Yeah, we'll definitely close half here. I'm glad. Okay, so this was a little scalp trade, which obviously didn't get the push that we'd wanted. At the moment, just gonna close full position. So very, very small risk on that. Lost about £300 or so. So managed risk pretty well. Very tight stop loss. Just based on a 15-minute fake out. Didn't quite play out. You know, is what it is. No point in getting annoyed over it. That sort of thing. It just didn't work out. Super aggressive trade. Not a very high risk trade. Yeah. Please guys, if you haven't, do remember to leave a like on the stream. Definitely helps out a lot, and subscribe if you are not subscribed. I would appreciate that as well. Gold is currently ranging, so there's definitely not much we can do on gold at the moment. Was definitely hoping for a little bit more of a push on GJ. Went up about 8 or so pips. So by the time price rejects at that point, you don't want to be hanging on to your position. So that's why when price came back to my entry, I closed half. And then that 3 pip stop loss, which was already a tight stop loss, by the time it actually hit my stop loss, was already half of the position which I'd opened a 20 lot, closed 10 obviously at entry, and then the rest of the 10 went down to, I just closed it like maybe 2.8 pips or so in loss. So we can just put here trade 1. Let's just say minus 3 pips. So nothing too exciting. Today guys, I do have to go and get some stuff done in the afternoon, so I'm gonna try to be back definitely as soon as possible, but I don't know if I'll be here for New York Open, but what I might try to do is get to Discord just after New York Open, so maybe for the half an hour after New York Open, and then can see if we can get some late volume like yesterday. We should maybe get a move on gold. We obviously again have some clear range to trade into if we don't get something before then. So yeah, anyone who is interested in the Discord session, it will probably be a little bit later today. And obviously you guys are more than welcome to chill in there whenever you want, if you guys do want to chat to each other about trading and any ideas. And there is a channel in there for charts and trade ideas. So if anyone has a trade idea or some charts that they want to post in the Discord, post it in there. Feel free. You know, can never know enough about what you're looking at. not the greatest London Open, also nothing happening on gold. Let's check out GU and also some fundamentals which we have coming up. We did do a bit of a breakdown on the fundamentals, which we are going to be looking at over the next week. Today and tomorrow, or yesterday and today, and even Monday was not a very high impact news day, any of them, but you can see we do now have some medium impact news coming in over the next few days, and also some high impact CPI coming in tomorrow, which is definitely going to be pretty important to take into consideration when you're buying a Lambo. no Lambos here. Lambos aren't classy enough. Did buy myself a car, but it wasn't a Lambo. Okay, so we do have the unemployment claims coming in on the US dollar, which is also going to be important. That is on Thursday, that's tomorrow. What did you buy? Mercedes-Benz. Which in my opinion is better than a Lambo. It was the E-Class, E250. Let's just check out G. Very similar London Open candle. Okay, let's do a full breakdown on GU. You can see our weekly market structure is of course bullish. We're looking at last week's weekly candle. You can see it closed pretty strong bullish, and then from this afternoon we're going to be looking at this week's weekly candle, which is currently still bullish. So we know we're bullish in market structure on the weekly. We can see on the daily at the moment we are bullish in market structure as well. This is our high and this point which created high. So we will only flip bearish below that level. So we don't have to worry about that. What we do need to obviously take into consideration is we form some daily resistance at a previous level of daily resistance. We have now, however, formed some daily support on a previous level of daily resistance, so that's your break and retest. Now we're obviously attempting to retest this high. The last couple of days you can see have really lacked volume in comparison to, you can see how strong this bearish candle was. Even these candles moving up were very strong candles. A lot more volume in those candles, so important to remember that. If we look at the 4 hour, we can start marking some zones. We did have this marked in yesterday, which was a resistance level, quite a strong resistance level, and then we had a support level marked down at this point. So we are ranging currently on the 4 hour, so it's definitely something to look at. If we break out of this range, I do see us possibly coming up to these sorts of 1.35980 levels. We do have the 4 hour clean candles. We just need to identify possible entries and clean candles on the lower time frames as well. If we are going to continue down, we do have a 4 hour level of support at that level, which is going to be something to take into consideration. If we now go look on the 1 hour, we need to adjust our zones. So we have a 1 hour resistance level at that point, and I would say that if we break above there, we can get to 1.35799, just based on the 1 hour clean candles. Not the most range, but definitely enough to trade in. Otherwise, much safer buys are going to come above this 1.35799 level to again retest the higher sorts of levels, the higher highs that we were making. If we're going to be looking for sells based on the current zones that we have, let me just see how much range we have here. It's about 20 pips worth of range below here based on the 1 hour. But if we drop down to a 30-minute, we're going to need to see if we have the clear range. We also have the clear range on the 30-minute time frame. So there's going to be some interesting sell levels below here. GJ selling now. Yeah, looking at GJ. Could say that that's a retest of that support level. I'm not interested in taking these sells. I do see why, based off of technicals, I don't know what that is. Well, based off of technicals, that could make sense. If we break this low, we obviously have the clean candles to the left. But if we take into consideration our market structure, that will be counter trend. So what I'll be looking for is for this move to come down, and then for us to form some support, maintain that bullish market structure, and continue bullish. That would be much, much safer, much better, and I would much rather trade with that sort of trend on my side. Yeah, we are coming down to that 4-hour support, which I've marked out with this white line, so do take that into consideration as well. So yeah, GU, I would say, based on market structure, we are currently more bullish than we are bearish. I think we have about a, let's see what our 4-hour market structure, our 4-hour market structure is bearish at the moment, and our 30-minute is bullish. So we have a 3v1 bullish market structure, so buyers obviously would be my buyers. However, we have more range to trade into if we come down below this 1.35378 level, and if we break above 1.35667, then we can also continue bullish, and that'll likely be the break out of this 4-hour range, which we are currently messing around in. So that's if you are looking at GU, do take all that into consideration. GJ attempted to take some very aggressive buys, didn't work out, but managed risk, and we are now struggling to move down, even though we have rejected this previous area of support. And that again just could be because we are in that bullish market structure. We are also sitting on a 4-hour level of support, which is either just we're gonna break straight through it and then continue bullish at a later stage. And again, my entries, I'll be looking for buys at these sorts of levels to retest this high, because that would be us buying at the best possible prices with the trend. So we'll be buying at the lows with the upward trend. These would be also known as our pivot points. So we would need to form sorts of areas like this, support at previous levels of support, and then that is your pivot point to continue bullish. Gold currently ranging. Again, guys, if we do get above 1829, we have some really, really nice range to trade into above that level, about 30 pips worth of range. And that would be because we have all these clean candles to the left. We obviously will be trading with the trend as well. So I think that some potential buys above 1829 will be perfect. We obviously need to wait for those candle setups, and I would say very risky sells below. And the reason those are risky, again, counter trend. So just watch out for that. Keep an eye out on GJ. Still messing about. We are also forming some 1-hour support at this previous level of 1-hour resistance, and again that'll be kind of a break and retest completed. So if we can get above these sorts of levels at the top here, although we don't have clean range, it is a good indication that we then can continue with that bullish trend. I want those buys on gold. Yeah, I think gold's definitely going to be the money maker today for sure. we do need to be aware of these. GJ 1 hour chart at 3, the bullish candle. Would you have bought on the candle after the bar, after 4 buys, or did it move too far? Let me just see where you're talking about. If we go to the 1 hour. Is this the candle you're talking about? Sorry, this one. So let me just see what it looked like on the 30-minute. So if you're asking would I buy after this candle had formed this support, or are you asking would I have bought or bought it, sorry, around there? As we were coming up, sorry. Because if we look at it after the candle, if we look at based on the 30-minute time frame, we obviously had this resistance level right here. So after that candle, the 3 o'clock had closed, we would have had about 7 or 8 pips worth of range. So for me personally, I would not have bought after that formed. I do understand though that we were obviously forming support at a previous level of support. Especially on the 1 hour, we also had market structure on our side. So I understand the idea, just not enough range personally for me to actually want to trade that. So no, I personally would not have bought there. And I think that, well, yeah, I definitely only like to trade into about 12 or more pips worth of range. So that would have been too tight for me. And I don't like buying as we move into a resistance level, or selling as we ride on a support level. I like it to be nice, clear range. Yeah, no worries. Seem to be moving up a little bit now on GJ. Would be nice to get this 1 hour, if this 1 hour candle can close bullish, and we are obviously on this previous level of 1 hour support, then again, nice strong indication that we can start moving up maybe later on in the day. Again, London has been pretty useless as usual, but I think we will eventually get that move. Once we do start getting some much better London opens and much easier entries when it comes to GJ, I think that there will be a nice change in the market conditions. It hopefully won't just be a once-off thing, you know, we get one good day and then come back to this. I'm hoping that we do get, you know, a couple of months of nice conditions, because it has been very, very tough and difficult market conditions recently. Check out Bitcoin while we wait for this stuff to actually do something. What did we have marked out yesterday? I think we had this for sells. So we actually didn't break through where we wanted to look for buys. I think this is where we were looking for buys yesterday on stream. Above 45,000 and possible sells below. Yeah, so we got, I mean, minor sells. I definitely wouldn't be looking to sell in Bitcoin's current market conditions. You can see the weekly of the last 3 weeks has been very strong bullish. Also, we are on a previous level of monthly support. You can see we tapped into that and rejected it. So now we could start moving bullish. But obviously, again, price action on cryptocurrencies is not your most reliable sort of way of trading it. I wonder if they have Doge on here. They do. This was a very interesting time last year when we just started pumping and dumping coins, and then it kind of just sorted itself out. This is when the billionaires get bored, and then they just decide, okay, let's have a little bit of fun. So yeah, today definitely going to be looking more so at gold, I think, than GJ. Trading ranges as well. When we look at GJ, what we can expect once we get above 156.800 is a nice strong move. If we look at the clean candles that we have to the left, it is a nice 30 or so pip range. So that's going to be really nice, easy buys, I think, once we start shifting into this area. If we go look on the higher time frames as well, the only thing we do need to watch out for is obviously we must get above these sort of 4-hour wick areas, and then we can continue, because then we don't just have the clean candles on the higher time frames, we also have the clean candles on the lower time frames, and when those start lining up, it makes the trades you take a lot more probable. You just have to look at gold yesterday for an example. We had really nice clean candles on both the 1 hour and the 4 hour, and that was great. Do you think Doge will ever get back there again? I think as long as it has that meme coin status, I don't think so. Because it was, it was nothing, and then a couple of really, really wealthy people just decided, let's have some fun with it. And then that's why it pumped so hard. And then it got that status of being, the main meme coin. If it were to become more mainstream, then possibly at a point. Yeah, GJ is in a very, very tough situation at the moment, guys. The trade that I took earlier was definitely super aggressive. Not looking back on it now, pretty stupid trade, but manage risk, so it is fine. Just trying to see if we can form some support based on the 1 hour time frame, if we can get any earlier entries, but just based on like the way how choppy price action obviously is in this current area, there's not going to be any solid early entries which we can possibly look at on GJ. The safest option in these sorts of price ranges is just to wait for those clean candle sorts of zones. Just got to be patient, and then this is when it is nice to have, if you're not just someone who trades one pair, this is when it's really nice to have a second pair to trade, and that's where things like gold are going to come in handy. Because at the moment, and it has been for the past month, GJ entries have been very, very few and far between, very tough to actually get involved in. Yesterday again was another impulse entry on GJ based on the 30-minute. Once we had broken above that zone, we had those zones marked out on stream, but once I had taken gold, I definitely wasn't interested in taking GJ as well. So yeah. Yeah, not the greatest situation. If you guys do have any other charts that you want me to analyze or any other pairs, then I will happily do that as well. like how GJ respected the previous low. Yeah, definitely a nice indication that the buyer's pressure is most definitely stronger than the seller's pressure. But what we also do need to look at is, okay, that may be the case and we are in an uptrending market, but how are we going to find a valid entry? And for me, no valid entry, or I can't personally see a valid entry until we create a new high possibly and then come down and then continue with that trend move. Would you please look at UJ? Yeah, let me check. Look at USDJPY. Okay, we can do a top-down analysis on UJ. So based on last week's weekly candle, we are bearish market structure. On the weekly, you can see that is very likely to change once we get to this afternoon, because on Wednesday afternoons we take into consideration the current weekly candle as opposed to the previous weekly candle. We also closed very weak bearish, last week. So that weekly candle is almost invalid, but you do need to obviously take it into consideration because weekly resistance is weekly resistance. At the moment on the daily, this is most definitely our high which we created, and we now need to identify where was that created, and here's your 2 or more candle pullback. So we are bullish market structure on the daily as well. So that's already a 1v1, which will most probably be a 2v0 by later this afternoon. You can also see we are currently on a previous level of daily resistance. We have this resistance level and we are currently forming some daily resistance possibly on that level, but based on the daily trend we are still bullish. We now need to drop down to our 4-hour time frame and look for some possible zones to mark in. You can see this is a very strong level. Formed resistance on it once, formed resistance on it twice, now we formed resistance on it for the 3rd time. So if we can get a close above this 4-hour resistance level, it's going to be a very strong indication that then we can start moving bullish. I think this will also be a break of the previous weekly high. Yeah, by that point we would be very well above that weekly resistance level. So looking at that on the 4-hour, we need to take that into consideration for sure. Our 4-hour market structure at the moment, if this was our high, this was the point which created the high, so we are currently bullish as well. So that gives us our 2v1. We can also look at possible supports to mark out on the 4-hour if we are going to be taking into consideration some sells, and I'd say that this is a very good support level to mark out, and then we can obviously going to fine tune it once we get down to lower time frames. So we go look on the 30-minute time frame. We have some support at this point, which if we look to the left, this would be a much better support to mark out, because below that level we got the clean candles. Not a lot of range. It's going to be much better to get below this area, because then if we look to the left, we have a much larger range to trade into down to that support level. And if we're going to be looking at those buy continuations, you can see that if we break above that 4-hour resistance level, we also have clean candles up on the 30-minute. And remember, this is our marked out zone. Let me just move that back. That is our marked out resistance all the way from the 4-hour down to the 30. And you can see how it all lines up, because on the 4-hour we have clean candles, and now on the 30-minute we still have those clean candles, making this a very, very valid trading range. And I'd say pip wise, it's only 12 pips. This is kind of why I don't like UJ, is because the ranges that you do have to trade are so small in comparison to things like GJ and GU. But at the moment we're in a very interesting range. Our market structure on the 30-minute, this is our high. This is the point which created the high over here, so we will only be bearish below this point. And that then plays into our market structure, because if we flip bearish below this point and get a candle close, we also have the clean candles to the left. So that would be a nice area to be looking for some sells, because then you'll have that added confluence of market structure. So at the moment, I'd be only looking for, even to play it safe, what I would say is only looking for sells below 115,234, and then you obviously have your nice clean candles to the left, and then buys above 115,686, and then you can maybe look for some much more aggressive entries within the sort of range that we're in. But other than that, these are going to be your 2 areas where you should find some really easy moves and easy entries. So if that makes sense. GU came up quite nicely. Let's check out GJ again. So we have formed now some 30-minute support on a previous level of 30-minute support. Yeah, really nice 15-minute candle close above that 15-minute support. There is obviously opportunity to give this trade a second chance. It's going to be at a worse entry, but we do have clean candles on the 15-minute. I'm just going to leave GJ for the moment, for the time being, and focus on gold. I think the gold moves could definitely come a bit later. May even set some buy stops above this 1829 level to see if we can find some possible entries. I'd say our most important news of the week is probably going to be that CPI, guys. So that is coming in tomorrow. We have the core CPI coming in at about 3:30 South African time. I'm not too sure. Just go into Forex Factory and you can find what time that will be for you. And then we also have some high impact pound news as well. And that is just a talk from one of the MPs, or I think it's one of the MPs, or it's someone who's involved in the banks. So that could also move price a little bit. Based on the 30 minutes, if we can get 1 hour support to form on a previous level of 1 hour support, then later on we may only get the overall move, but I do still think that I will only be looking for buys on GJ for now. I don't really want to sell at this level. And then we also talked about how we are on a level of 4 hour support. We also had this 4 hour resistance here turn to support, so that's your break and retest. So now if we finally clear these sorts of levels up here at the 156.766 level, then again we need to get above 156.800 and then we can see that bullish continuation. Other than that, there's definitely not a huge amount happening. GU's trying, how much range is there here on GU? Only 8 pips of range. So GU is definitely not going to be easy to trade into because we obviously have a chance of rejecting at that resistance level. If we're going to base it on the 1 hour, we then need to see a 1 hour candle close. It's also really important, guys, if you are going to base trades on a certain time frame, you then need to say, okay, if there's clean candles on the 1 hour, I now need to see a 1 hour candle close above this level, because then that's a 1 hour confirmation and we're basing it on the 1 hour time frame, so the 1 hour clean candle. So we can't get a 30-minute candle close above this level and then say, well, there's clean candles on the 1 hour, because then you're mixing the time frames up. So you need to see that correlation. Got a chart here from Zeems. This is on the Nasdaq. You have bullish market structure and you are looking for possible buys above 14,895, which looks perfect to me. Got the clean candles to the left, which is great, and then potential sells below 14,759. That will also be a flip of 30-minute structure. Your 30-minute structure will flip bearish at that point, and you obviously have the clean candles to the left. So that looks like it could definitely be a great opportunity. It will be slightly counter trend because obviously at that point, if you do get the candle close, you'll then have a 3v1, but at least then you do have one sort of time frame on your side when it comes to market structure. We are making a move up here on GU, which means we're probably coming up on GJ as well. It's a pretty tight range. This is my only concern. 8 pips, yeah, definitely not worth getting involved in. What I do like is we have obviously respected the previous 30-minute candle low. We are not respecting the previous 30-minute candle high. I do see us definitely managing to get up to this level, and then whether we're going to continue now up to these higher sorts of levels is just depending on how much volume we get, and then I do see us continuing with that overall bullish trend. That'll be great to see. Probably have about another 5 or 10 minutes left here, guys, so if you do have any questions, any charts, let me know and we can have a look. Again, the Discord call today will be a little bit later. I think maybe around, I will try my best to get back for New York Open, but it will probably be maybe 15-20 minutes late. But we still should have some volume in the market, and hopefully the moves haven't happened at the Open. Yeah, should continue up on GJ. I mean, lack of volume certainly isn't helping, but it's still, just based on technicals, should be fine to continue bullish. I think that for the Discord calls as well, guys, on Tuesdays and Thursdays it will be open. And then I think on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I will do members only, or the other way around. I'm just going to see which one is going to suit better. Because the ones with the members I will obviously do every time, but the other ones will be a bit more lenient. May do them some days, may not, just depending on market conditions. But the members ones will be every day, or every time. We're going to find your Discord link. Let me just pop it in the chat here for you. Should paste in the chat. And if you aren't part of it already, guys, do join. I think that link should work. So another situation where a trade taken earlier could have played out, just didn't. By this point, definitely would have been up about 10 or so pips, but you know, it is what it is. Definitely moving up really well on GU. Could find some issues at the current level we're at, because we are currently sitting on a level of 30-minute resistance. Let me just adjust this. So if we can clear that 30-minute resistance, you can see we do have more or less clean candles left, but it is very choppy. You can see if we were to drop down to the 15-minute or the 5-minute, you would find yourselves a lot of levels of resistance within that price range, in between the 135.927 and the 135.770 sort of price range. Yeah, no problem, Antonio. I will, like I said, I do, well, starting from yesterday, I'm going to be doing some open Discord calls with you guys, just to talk about, you know, the afternoon sessions and all that stuff. So yeah, anyone who feels like they want to join or be part of those calls can discuss some trading ideas, anything trading related, and sometimes some non-trading related stuff, no stress. We also do have a bank holiday coming up on, I think it's a Japanese bank holiday coming up. It may be on Friday. Let me just check. Yeah, so we have a Japanese bank holiday coming up on Friday, so definitely something to look at and be aware of. That often can result in a bit of lack of volume when it comes to GJ, but you know, the pound side of that will still be trading, so there still could be a decent amount of volume there. But you do need to obviously take that into consideration if you are one of those GJ traders, or any yen related pair for that matter. And on days like this, what I'll usually like to do is put my main focus on gold, because then I know that gold, you know, will have its regular amount of volume. There also isn't a lot of high impact gold news, which makes the technical trading side of gold a lot easier. As soon as we have USD news, it becomes a bit of a problem. We normally do tend to settle down after NFP week, the build up to NFP week. So normally the week of NFP, there is some very weird and odd gold market conditions, just based on the fact that we have such high impact news coming in at the end of that week. And then obviously we have ADP on the Wednesday of NFP, which is also pretty high impact, does move the markets quite a lot, especially if those numbers are all over the place. But yeah, compared to when Trump was in charge, these sorts of moves have been a lot less hectic. Biden is pretty boring, so he doesn't say any crazy shit which moves markets. Definitely worth adjusting that. Yeah, this zone as well, guys, is where we could be looking for potential sells. I don't think I'll be interested in that, but if we're basing it off of clean candles and a possible candle close below this level, then technically it would make sense. So obviously if you're willing to take the trade as a counter trend trade, then it's fine, but you do need to also realize that you're on this 4-hour level of support. Very, very important. I'm only looking for GJ buys today, unless we get a really, really strong bearish move and get below this area down here, and that will obviously be our structural flip based on the 1-hour time frame, because here's our 2-candle pullback which formed our high, and then we got the clean candles to the left. If we look on the 30 minutes as well, that will be where our structural flip will come below this level again, clean candles to the left. So very important to look at it that way. If you are going to be looking for sells, this is your high risk sells, although it is earlier, so you're going to be selling at a better price. It's less probable to work out, so the risk is definitely there, and this is your much higher probability sells, because obviously you have the structural flip, you have the clean candles, and you'll be breaking through a support level. So that is also highly important to remember. So my market structure on GJ, 4v0 bullish. We are, I think most people in the Telegram, based on the charts from earlier, are all looking at this 156.808 level. Definitely something to look at. If we're going to be looking at gold, then I would say we need to I would again only be looking for buys really on gold above 1829. We wouldn't even have a structural flip below 1824. We wouldn't even have a structural flip below 1821. So at that point, you are literally taking trades based on not respecting support levels, and obviously the clean candles to the left, which makes it very, very risky, which is again why we have potential risky sells marked out. If we are going to be looking for the buys, I think above 1829, you know, we have 30 pips worth of range, going to be really, really good. So definitely take that into consideration. Other than that, I think that's probably about me done for the day, guys. I hope that we all had a nice morning. I did obviously take that GJ buy, which ended up coming down to my stop loss. I did close half of the position though as we came back to my entry, and then it was only a very tight stop loss of about 3 pips or so. So very, very small loss. Unfortunate, because price did then eventually end up going back up in my favor, but you know, you just got to accept those. I hope that you guys have a great day. I will again be trading in the Discord from about either New York Open or just after New York Open. I will let you guys know in the Telegram, and I will say obviously join up whenever you guys are ready and when I'm there. Otherwise, feel free to join that Discord whenever you want. And yeah, have a great day. I'll see you guys later. We'll post possibly a chart for New York Open on the Telegram before we start the Discord call. So yeah, I appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you, Antonio, Blip, Stanley, Nick, Sharif, Zeems, Thank you everyone who supported the stream, and do remember to leave a like and subscribe if you aren't as well. And yeah, see you guys all a little bit later.